There's no sound, is there? Son of a bitch.
Yeah, I can't hear anything.
Fail.
Boomer.
No, there's another option. There's another option. I can I have it on Dropbox, so I can play it off of there, and there'll be sound. There's a browser.
There you go.
But damn it,
Tech wizard.
That was pretty annoying.
It happens. Shit happens.
It happens too often on the StreamYard. You know, they gotta have audio with them, with the application sharing, not just the browser sharing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, most definitely.
Because you know, a lot of applications have audio.
Maybe it's a browser issue. Are you using Chrome?
No. That wasn't a browser. I was watching it in QuickTime.
Gotcha.
And it said, "No, fuck you. We don't care about QuickTime's audio." Oh, you know what? Damn it! I'm really trying to work on my swearing. Everybody, I'm really, really, really trying to work on my swearing. I know that like every third word out of my mouth is like "fuck" or "shit." You know what I mean? And I'm really trying to work on that. So you know.
Do you have a curse jar?
I noticed that at all in the streams.
You don't notice it?
Me neither, but I'm a potty mouth.
Well, that's good that you don't notice it. I mean, it bothers me because I feel like I shouldn't be swearing so much. You know what I mean? So,
whatever. It's a horror related show.
All right, here we go. Everybody, this is. How come I can't full screen this video? Son of a whatever. All right, well, this will be good enough. Here we go. There it is.
In love with other dead, 'cause there's no peace to find. But deep down I really need, I swear your loyalty. Let the darkness penetrate your idealizing me. So, say goodbye. Feel your body rise. 12 midnight, praying for the say goodbye. Feel your body rise. 12 midnight, praying for the
Booyah! Metal!
It's a mystery.
Oh, that's cool.
Badass, man.
Yeah,
That was great.
it's fun. Dom's probably never freaking seen my editing work and directing work probably before, because I don't really show it around so much. So it's, you know what I mean. But yeah, I directed that and edited that, and for my buddy's band. Their band's name is Betrayal, spelled with an E-L at the end. Yeah,
that's how you know they're edgy.
Yeah, because it's misspelled.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. It's like spelling crazy with a K.
Yeah. Hey, we got Sparkle in the house. What's up, Sparkle? Hey.
What's up, darling? So glad you could join us.
She's in that music video, if you guys didn't notice.
Oh, I noticed.
No, I noticed.
Praying with the
Very,
roses
very nice.
beads. Yeah, that was great. She was the hot mom.
The hot mom.
Yeah. Who would love to rock out. You know she would like to rock out like her daughter. She wants to deep inside, but she can't let herself because, of the upbringing that she had.
Right.
But she just needs a couple of shots of tequila and she'll loosen right up.
Sparkle on tequila. That I haven't seen Sparkle on tequila. That would be an interesting thing.
Well,
I've seen Sparkle on beer, and I've seen Sparkle on chocolate margaritas, but I don't think I've seen her on tequila.
Well, margaritas have tequila,
Right.
don't they?
seen her drink.
Oh, not. Did I say margaritas? I meant chocolate daiquiris.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I think the chocolate daiquiris.
Tequila does funny things to people, man. I know a lot of people that ended up in jail, and I'm like, how'd you end up in jail? I hijacked a steamroller and drove it into a building. Why'd you do that? I don't know. I was drinking tequila. So all I'm saying is that the prison industrial complex.
See, I'm still wrong. Chocolate martinis. See, there's the correction. See, chocolate martinis.
Well, I don't know what she was drinking one night because we went out to a nightclub and she was drinking something.
Yeah.
Something.
Usually, yeah, that's
I don't
usually
drink.
what happens at the nightclubs.
Not me neither.
It's funny because
I used to, but
I drink.
oh, never. Yeah.
What's that?
No, I was saying it's funny because I don't drink and I'm like surrounded by people who drink a lot. And like they're like getting drunk and stuff. I'm like the only sober one in the group.
the other one not
keep
looking
everyone together.
cool. Yeah, so you have to be the adult, right? Hey man,
Yeah, I'm the youngest out of all of them, so.
hey man, look, like back in the old punk rock scene and shit, I never had a problem with the straight edge kids. You know what I mean? It's as long as they weren't bagging on me for drinking, I wasn't gonna bag on them for not drinking.
Yeah.
It's like whatever. You do you, boo.
Sparkle says she hasn't had tequila since she was 19. She had a bad experience. Cannot do it again.
Ooh.
Man, yeah, it's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. It will.
No, it is dangerous.
Shit.
There has been many a fight I've had, physical confrontation because I was drinking tequila. Of course, there was a lot more of that when I was drinking whiskey. So
That's interesting.
yeah.
Isn't
Although
there-
I can drink margaritas and not have an issue. It's when I do shots. Tequila shots is what gets me.
Yeah, man.
Because I'll have like 4 or 5 shots before it hits. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And what I really love is nowadays you've got really high quality tequila where you can actually sip it and it's actually quite pleasant.
I actually want to try the Rocks tequila. You know that Dwayne the Rock Johnson. He has
Really?
a tequila. Yeah, he has tequila out. I want to check it out. I also want to check out. What's his face? Ryan. Can't remember Reynolds gin. He's got that Aviator gin.
Oh man, and we're not talking about something nasty to drink straight. Like straight shots of gin. I love gin and tonics, man. At least I did back in the day when I was a drinker. I'll still have a drink every now and then, but it's like a drink.
Yeah, gin is really dry. You know what I mean? I would rather just do straight shots of rum.
Rum isn't that bad. Vodka is kind of is harsh if it's warm. If it's
harsh,
ice cold.
Shoot, I could drink a whole bottle of vodka before I realize it, man.
Oh man, it mixes great with everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, my favorite is vodka and lemonade. That's my favorite. You know what I mean? It's like I used to drink screwdrivers a lot when I lived in Florida, but then someone turned me on and said, no, try it with lemonade. I was like, oh, this is the most amazing thing ever.
Magic combo.
No, it's like drink. I'm real fond of lemon meringue pie and lemon candy and lemon cookies. Lemon's my favorite flavor. You know what I mean?
Right. So you're like a
So-
sour guy. You like some people like hot, some people like
Yeah,
sweet.
I can't do spicy. Spicy will kill me, but I love sour. I love sour so much. I love it when it like actually like tarnishes my mouth for a few days. You know, like you get something so
Yeah.
sour, like 2 days later, you're like,
Yeah. So you're like, so you'd be like the equivalent of those guys that are into like really really hot sauce that like burns your bunghole like on the way out,
but with sour.
but with
Yeah.
sour.
But with sour.
Right.
Yeah. They're I mean, seriously, I don't think anything. I mean, I could eat a lemon straight and be like,
Oh wow.
oh yeah, that's good. You know what I mean?
It hurts so good.
But I think that has a lot to do with how I was brought up, because you know, like every kid, you know, you're like want to taste everything, and they thought I was gonna freak out on the lemon sour. You know what I mean? So here, have a lemon. I'm like,
This is aight.
this is pretty good.
Oh man. Yeah, and then there's people that like bitter, you know. There's
And there's people that are bitter. Just saying.
there's people that are bitter too. So what are we doing tonight? What are we talking about?
Tonight is a lovely night. Tonight we're going to talk about the greatness that is Wes Craven. Wes Craven, the creator of so many wonderful nightmares, especially one specific great nightmare known as Nightmare on Elm Street.
I was gonna say Wes Craven's Nightmare, but
That's the only other film in the Nightmare on Elm Street series that he directed, and it's very very good. I like that one a lot.
I like to say that Wes Craven is a genius of his own, because you know before like Nightmare he made like Last House on the Left and Hills Have Eyes, but when he did Nightmare it was a whole nother thing. It was like, wow, like how can he's able to like craft something really unique, like wait, a killer in your dreams, like you get killed in your dreams and you don't wake up, like that's a scary concept if you think about it, because you got the Freddy Krueger, the burnt face and the finger knives and everything stalking your dreams. I just found it really scary to not wake up. That's like the scary part of the whole franchise to me, is to not wake up.
What's crazy is when the first one came out, you know what I mean? I was actually at a very young age, and I was dealing with nightmares at that time. Like, you know what I mean? So like when the movie came out, it actually, in a way, it helped me deal with my nightmares, because my nightmares weren't as bad as the ones in the movie. So I was all like, it's like, okay, I can deal with my nightmares as long as Freddy's not in them.
The thing that was interesting about Freddy Krueger as a creation is that you look at all the 80s slashers, like the really major ones, right? You've got Michael Myers, also known as the Shape. What is he? He's a blank. He represents the emptiness of evil, right? Loomis talks about staring at his eyes and seeing nothing staring back. And that mask, the white mask, blankness, emptiness, right? Doesn't say a word. Then you have Jason Voorhees, right? Also masked, doesn't say a word. Freddy Krueger is the one 80s slasher who had personality.
Severely insane personality. Not just like, but it was almost like at some point he's gonna go ha cha cha. You know what I mean? It's just like,
well, yeah, I mean that's always the case with, because it's not really in the first film, but when you're getting to like Friday, when you're getting to like part 4, part 5, of course, Robert Englund's gonna just have fun with it and not take it.
And they had a lot of fun. I mean, Dream Warriors killed me, man. There was so much like underlining humor in that one. It was just
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Then you have Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, very very controversial. There's an entire documentary about it, as a matter of fact, because it has a gay subtext to it. It's basically about the fear of discovering that you're gay. And it's very controversial for that reason. But, of course, we're not talking about Wes Craven here. We're talking about his creation, taking on a life of his own, which is interesting because then you have, Wes Craven's New Nightmare. That's the title of the film. And that's exactly what that's about. It's all about his creation taking on a life of its own.
Exactly.
Yeah, I like to say that Wes Craven's New Nightmare is not just that, but also the impact in his life. How, his perception of the last house on the left, how he's afraid of people watching the movie and going and doing the exact same thing as they do in the movie. He's afraid of that, of people acting out from his movies. And that is something that's very like, he doesn't say it a lot, but that's like one of the things that he puts into his New Nightmare film. But you're right, it's definitely about his creation going loose and becoming its own. And it's just, it reminds me a lot of Scream a little bit. I mean, this is 2 years before.
Well, yeah, of course it would. You know what I mean? It's the same creator.
Yeah, they're meta horror films, but one of them is written by Wes Craven, and then the other one was written by, I'm blanking on his name.
Kevin Williamson?
Yes,
Sorry.
Kevin Williamson.
Okay.
Yeah, but Wes Craven directed Scream, though, didn't he? I mean, he basically made it what it is. So
He directed it, but still, the screenplay wasn't written by him. It was written by Kevin Williamson, who also wrote Halloween H2O, and I think wrote Scream 2 and 3.
Well, Wes Craven wasn't like, I mean, he's more known for his directing than is for writing anyway. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, but he was usually like a writer and director. Now you look at Last House on the Left, which is where his formal, official film career begins, because before he directed his first horror film, Last House on the Left, he was a porno director and a college professor. And he says that when they made that's
convenient. That's an easy way to find your unknown cast.
Exactly.
Among the college.
Right. Yeah. And so he says that they were stoned when they made that film. And I have to say, it is a movie that is incredibly powerful. It's really, really strange, the power that movie has. Because story-wise, of course, it's not original. It's a remake of Ingmar Bergman's The Virgin Spring. But I've never watched that film, and it's very clumsy and clunky in sections. But I've never watched it and not felt stained and tainted afterwards. And that's exactly what Last House is all about. It's all about the taint of violence and how it contaminates everything that it touches. It's an incredibly strong film.
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys feel about it.
Yeah. So, with that film, also, by the way, Sean S. Cunningham, he produced the film.
Yes, you're right.
And before that, he did porn. So that's why I found out. I was like, what exact era did he do porn? And then I found out it was like in the 60s. So I was like, wow, that was that far. But
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say that, but with Wes, he's, there's something about his films.
What's up, Simon?
What's up?
I was about to explain.
You're saying, Dominic.
So, yeah, but something about Wes Craven's films just feel like it feels personal to him.
I don't know.
For some reason, it's just
What's your favorite horror movie?
Oh no,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you, Dominic.
Oh no, I'm just saying that his films, it feels like it's coming from him.
Yeah, they're very personal.
Like that.
Yeah. And he said he would get most of his ideas actually in the shower. And
that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, right?
I'm just saying, there's some creepiness right there.
Well, I mean, he would work in a way similar to the way that Louis Buñuel worked and the way that Dario Argento worked, which is to say they would actually move the screenwriter into their home, and then they would get up in the morning and then they would tell their dreams to the writer, and the writer would work the dreams into the screenplay. So the way it would work with Wes Craven was he would wake up, he'd go in the shower, and that's when he would start thinking about like the dreams that he'd had. And so it's like Mario Puzo said he did most of his writing napping on the couch, right? Like he said, The Godfather, it's like 99% of that, all the work was like me just like napping on the couch, and the rest of it was just me just putting it down. And for Wes Craven, it was something similar, except it was the shower where he found his inspiration.
Yeah, I'm wondering. There's probably some deep psychological stuff, you know what I mean, going on in his shower.
I think it was just a polite way of saying that he actually comes up with a story when he's sitting on the throne.
See, now I believe that better.
Right? That makes more sense, right?
Maybe, possibly. You know, I mean, I know, like, for instance, okay, Last House on the Left, like I said, openly, freely adapted from Ingmar Bergman's The Virgin Spring. Hills Have Eyes, which was
that was spooky.
That's the one I really liked. Yeah.
That was based on a case where I believe that occurred in Scotland, where there was a stretch of road where people would just disappear. And what they discovered was there was a clan of a Scottish cannibal clan that lived in a cave that would jack whoever was riding down that road and eat them. And they had to send in the army to take these people out. And they were inbred, and they were like, you know, like troglodytes almost. And that's what The Hills Have Eyes is inspired by. That's where the inbred cannibal clan idea came from.
That movie freaked me out when I first saw it, man. I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more Children of the Corny, but no.
Oh, no, that's a nasty piece of work. I mean, Last House is really nasty too. I think, like a lot of filmmakers, he mellowed with age. But boy, those early films by him, man, they are mean. They're not messing around for sure.
Yeah, they're. I mean, there's a lot of horror makers. Wes Craven is one of the sickest.
You know,
I'm not saying the sickest. You know,
no.
Going to give me an award for being the most demented man on earth.
No.
But I would put him in the top 10 of the sickest horror creators there are.
Well, I know that John Landis, when he was talking about Wes Craven, said, "I really don't think he realizes how sick and fucked up and twisted Last House on the Left is."
Or he does and doesn't want to admit it.
Maybe he wouldn't like it. He wouldn't talk about his career directing porn. As a matter of fact, one of the actors, one of the maniacs, one of the killers in Last House on the Left was a famous porn star / director named F.J. Lincoln.
Huh.
Needless to say, you know, it didn't launch his career into the mainstream. But Craven was one of those guys who was slogging away for a while before he had that breakout hit. And that breakout hit, he did. What else did he do in between those movies?
He
And
did Shocker. That was okay. Me, I like the Wishmaster.
I like it too.
Wishmaster was kind of weird. Yeah, it was weird.
Wishmaster?
He didn't direct that though. I think maybe he produced.
Oh no, he didn't. He didn't write it. He produced it.
Yeah.
He produced Wishmaster.
Deadly Blessing is a turd.
Deadly Friend?
Deadly Friend, also a turd. Although it has a great exploding head sequence, I gotta say. He did a TV movie called Chiller about cryogenics, and that also is a bit of a turkey. So he had a spotty career. He wasn't like, you know, batting 1,000 by any stretch of the imagination. But then, of course, out came, those movies did well enough that he could still keep making movies.
Well, did you guys talk about Shocker?
No. Well, that's later in his career. That's his post Nightmare career. And I like that movie a lot, by the way. Yeah. I thought it was a hoot.
With the actor from X-Files.
Yep. Like run around chasing him through the TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one's really playful. And then you've got The Serpent and the Rainbow.
That was a fucking work of art.
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh,
you have not seen that one? That's the one with Mickey Rourke and
Bill Pullman.
What was it called?
Bill Pullman, and
Yeah.
Zakes Mokai, the great South African actor. I want to hear you scream.
Yeah.
How's
It-
the name
that
of it
was
again?
The Serpent and the Rainbow. It was based, well, I shouldn't say it was based. It was named after a nonfiction book by a anthropologist by the name of Wade Davis. Wade Davis wrote a nonfiction book about how he discovered the zombie formula. That is to say, he went to Haiti and explored and tried
Yeah, I
getting
did see it.
right and managed to find out what the zombie formula was made out of, and it turns out it's one of the ingredients. The active ingredient seems to be a poison from a particular kind of pufferfish. But the movie that Wes Craven did is just a complete fucking fantasy. It has no rooting in reality whatsoever, and it's a blast. It's got some of the wildest imagery, great practical effects. It's crazy. It's very unhinged. Oh, we lost Dominic.
Oh,
Oops.
he'll be back. It says device is not connected, so he'll reconnect. He was. No, so why was I thinking Mickey Rourke was in Serpent in the Rainbow? I know it's Bill Pullman, but why was what's the movie that's just like that has Mickey Rourke in it that's getting me confused?
Angel Heart.
Yeah, that's the one that's in it.
Oh.
That's making me think of it. Yeah.
Yeah, by Alan
That's the
Parker.
one I'm supposed to see that I haven't seen.
It's very good.
Yeah, I in my mind those two get crossed over. I don't know why. I guess because it's a similar plots.
And Kino Subway says Brian's vast knowledge extends into porn. I see. Oh yes, it
Yeah.
does.
That's old news.
Guilty as charged.
We got Metal Movie and Brewski's in the house.
Metal.
Dom's back. We
Back
got
with Cleaver Fools.
we got Lothar D.
What up, Lothar? Welcome back, Dominic.
Yeah, I just had to do something real quick. I got some family's over, so
Oh, yeah,
they're watching. I forgot the movie was called. Oh, the Friday 13th movie. Jason Goes to Hell. Oh
I like
my God.
I like that one actually.
Yeah, I like that one too. I've seen it once or twice, but that film I thought it was really different from the other movies, and I was like, wow, this is unique. And Sean S. Cunningham came back to produce that film, and I heard like he was very his relationship with Marcus was very he's like, get the hockey mask out of the movie or something like that, like get that out of the movie. But yeah, that's I always thought that it was like a Wes Craven thing where Wes Craven came back for New Nightmare, same thing with Sean S. Cunningham coming back for Friday the 13th because he directed and produced the first one. So I thought it was gonna be like that same bang where he came back and now he's reinventing the franchise into bringing it back to its roots, but it's different than that. So
Well, here's the thing. I think he didn't like the hockey mask because it's so iconic, it's so associated with the character, and he didn't come up with it. The hockey mask didn't arrive until Friday the 13th 3D.
mm-hmm.
And Jason's not even the killer in the very first Friday the 13th. The very first Friday the 13th is really a ripoff of a Mario Bava movie called Bay of Blood. Definitely check that one out, folks, if you haven't seen it. And if you watch it, you're going to be like, oh my God, this is like the same movie practically.
Yeah.
Oh, The Hills Have Eyes Part 2. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it hurts. It hurts. It hurts. People, don't watch It Hills Have Eyes Part 2 unless you're really, really feeling masochistic. I don't think they finished that one because it feels like an unfinished movie and it's all poorly edited and it's thrown together with footage from the first movie. It's just a catastrophe. I don't know anybody who likes the movie.
Actually, it's interesting. I think Kane Hodder was in it. Wasn't he? Yeah, he was stuntman, right? He was. Yeah. There was fire stunt in there, right?
I didn't know that.
Because actually, it's interesting because from what I heard from some of my friends who did research, they're like, Kane Hodder was on set and he was something. He got due to the fire stunt and he got burned. So I think it was some part of his body was burned. It was like burned bad. And if you look that up, it was like in his career that happened. But he kept doing fire stunts. But that was the inspiration for Freddy Krueger for his burned face and his body and stuff like that. And that was a little inspiration. And he tacked that on into Nightmare. I thought that was interesting. So he took something a good like idea from Hills Have Eyes and implemented it to his Nightmare film. So if it weren't for Hills Have Eyes Part 2, I mean, we wouldn't get Freddy Krueger.
There you
As far
go.
as I know.
That's interesting. Amber Heard, she's like sucking Johnny Depp down into hell.
Oh, is that Amber Heard? It wasn't.
No, she's under the bed. She's under the bed. That's Johnny Depp.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Yeah, people sometimes forget he was in the original Elm Street.
It was his first movie, right?
I think so.
Yeah. After that, he did Platoon and 21 Jump Street.
Yep.
And then after that, he went to go do Pirates, which he became big.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he did a lot of movies in between 21 Jump Street and Pirates.
Yeah.
And there's David Hess, who played Krug in Last House on the Left, and here he is in Swamp Thing. I love this movie.
Swamp Thing is my absolute favorite Wes Craven movie. I'm sorry, but it was really fucking awesome.
It is really good.
I can't believe how much like people don't like make a big deal about that movie these days. That movie was so well done. It fucking stands the test of time. It had just enough humor, fucking shitload of fucking, like special effects that were practical effects. Man, the story was good. The writing was good. Everything was just my favorite Wes Craven by far.
And Adrienne Barbeau
was really glorious in that.
Yes, and you want the uncut version, my friends. You want the director's cut of that, and it is out there because yes, you do get to see Adrienne Barbeau's two friends in that.
You get Adrienne Barbeau's.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm just like thinking like, oh, John Carpenter, man. Oh, you lucky dog. Metal Movies and Brewski says Ronnie Yu brought an awesome martial art element to Freddy vs. Jason. I love Ronnie Yu, and I liked Freddy vs. Jason, but I don't understand why they have Ronnie Yu doing like Bride of Chucky and shit like that when like his Hong Kong movies, what he was really good at was like epic romance and like wuxia, like sword fighting and romance movies, and then they bring him over here like, oh, you'll be like the slasher movie guy.
Yeah, that was weird because like I seen Bride of Chucky and I looked at the credits and he directed it. I'm like, isn't that the guy who did all those
Bride with White Hair?
Yeah. And I was like, what is he doing making a Bride of Chucky? And then when I saw Freddy vs. Jason, then his name was on the director's credit, and I'm like, wait, he did Freddy vs. Jason?
Yeah, he did Freddy vs. Jason. Yeah.
Yeah. What I actually let me take a little opinion from that because I like Freddy vs. Jason when it comes to the fight scenes and stuff, and some of the kills, but the characters were bland. But I guess that fills it in, when it comes to the two biggest icons.
Yeah, that whole movie was all about the final fight. It was all set up. I mean, everything was. I mean, I remember leaving that one thinking, "Yeah, I'm disappointed." You know what I mean? But I saw it in the theaters. And I was like,
Do you guys think they'll make a Freddy vs. Jason 2 with Michael or something?
I think they should have like an epic battle of the horrors. You know what I mean? And then like bring like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and fucking Leatherface and
do like a House of Frankenstein kind of a thing. A monster mash, a slasher mash.
Match.
The problem is, of course, would be the legal issues. You'd have to get, because they're all owned by different people. You'd have to get everybody to.
But it would be seriously epic, and it's like it's like it would have to start out. You know what I mean? Where like like they just happen to somehow end up in the same place. You know what I mean? And like there's all these like the same town. You know what I mean? And they're all and like all these deaths are happening, and then like after everybody's fucking killed, they start going after each other. You know what I mean? Can you imagine Jason stalking Michael Myers, who's stalking Jason?
Well, there was what was the last one that I saw was Statako versus Kayako, which
Oh,
is
that's the Grudge versus the Ring,
the
right?
Ring.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right. Where like these people get these women, these young ladies get cursed, and they contact this parapsychologist. He's like, okay, well, here's what we'll do. We'll give you both each of the curses, and then the curses will hopefully like cancel each other out. And I actually really enjoyed that one. I thought it was a lot of fun. Yeah, here we have a very genuinely sinister looking, no longer so funny, Freddy Krueger in New Nightmare.
Yeah, that movie was horrendous.
It was horrendous, did you say?
Yes.
I believe that's the word he used, which I don't think is a real word.
Well, it's a word if he uses it. It's like at school, when the teacher would say, "Ain't isn't a word." I'm like, you just used it. You don't use it, it's a word.
It is a word. It's a contraction.
Yeah.
It is a word.
So yeah, he directed all the Scream films, Wes Craven, and I honestly I would say, of course, I like the first one more than the other ones, but I do like the sequels. They still keep the same elements of the first film, but they just focus more on instead of the rules or the films. They do mention films, but they, instead of focusing on the rules in the films, they focus more on the story, on who is the ghost face this time.
Yeah, I felt like the Scream sequels were I Know What You Did Last Summer sequels.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They felt almost like the same fucking movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird.
I watched the second one, and I was at that point I was just like, okay, peace out. You know what I'm saying? I was like, done, son, done. So I have to admit, having not seen 3, 4, and 5.
I mean, they're okay. If you like sequels, you like it.
Yeah, I like horror sequels. Horror sequels are, in a way, almost a genre of their own. At least that's how I think of them.
Man, there's no movies that had as many sequels as horror.
Okay, one of my favorite death scenes, not because they killed Rose McGowan, because I think she's kind of hot, but this was a very clever way to fucking kill somebody.
Yeah. Isn't that scene where she the killer's blocking the door, and he cuts her arm, and then she retreats and starts throwing bottles at him, bottles, and then doing all these moves to fight him. And then, he's doing really well, right? But then she goes into the dog,
the doggy door.
Doggy door, and then she gets stuck in there.
Well, because it lifts her up, so she's no longer able to use the ground to get through it. She's stuck. Although I mean, she's not that fat. I mean, I think I could have even gotten out of that dog door pretty quickly. You know what I mean?
But unfortunately, that wasn't the case. So lift her up and crushed her. Oh Jaden Pinkett Smith, and also Omar Epps is in this too, in the second one.
At the beginning, which is a little bit stolen from Demons, where the horror comes through the screen.
Mm-hmm.
Where it's people were watching a horror movie, and then the next thing they know, they're in a horror movie.
Yeah, that's the thing about that scene. I always thought it's they're redoing what's her name? What was her name? In the first movie, she died off in the beginning because it was more like what you call it?
You're talking about Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore. So I thought it was the same thing here, but with Jada Pinkett Smith.
Right.
So I thought they redid it with her, but yeah, it was
except they didn't use Jada Pinkett Smith to market the movie. They used Drew Barrymore, she was the star, not Nev Campbell. You know what I mean?
Right. But also that was playing with the trope of black people in horror movies getting killed off in the first reel, and so you've got these two black characters, and they get killed off before the opening credits.
Yeah, it's definitely talking about the tropes of, you know, certain horror. You got the token black guy or the token black girl died up like in the first, you know, 5 minutes of the movie, and that's the running joke in horror films.
So,
And honestly, I feel like I didn't say I didn't get it. I just thought like it was kind of ridiculous to say that, because I've seen a lot of horror slasher films where those characters live like past 5 minutes, and I'm like, I don't get it.
on another angle of when you know, Wes Craven does a really good movie, there's more than just the story. You know what I mean? The cinematography, the whole art layout is usually very important. I just wanted to draw everybody's attention to those elements as I press play here, because this is a really well focused pan.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really catches the moments, and then it plays to something, and you don't. I mean, it's like if you're watching the movie all the way through, that scene is a really good setup to a jump scare that you're not being jump scared. You know what I mean? It's not like the typical jump scare. Like usually it's something around the corner or whatever.
Right.
You know?
A cheap shot. He earns the jump scare.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I think that's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you know, it's not a cheap shot.
You know, actually, I would like to mention, it's interesting because if you look at some Japanese horror films, especially like Ju-on and Ringu, they use their scares very, I wouldn't say limited, but the reason why they're so scary is because of the ghosts or the, you know, the spirit. It's able to move wherever it goes.
Yeah.
So they use that to their advantage to use that spirit to put it in certain areas so the scare is set up. Whereas if you watch a film where there's a killer and there's going to be a jump scare, well, if the killer's over here, he has to work his way to get to this point of the scene so then he can make the jump scare. But sometimes like it doesn't make sense because he's right here and then all of a sudden he's over there in the jump scare. I was like, wait, what? That's cheap. So like, but with the ghosts, you can use them whenever you want, and that's what makes them more scary.
Oh, most definitely. I would say like they use their ghosts, their monsters judiciously. You know, they use them piecemeal. Of course, there's that wonderful image of this one washing her hair, and suddenly these white fingers coming out of her hair. You know,
that's a creepy scene. Yeah,
it's always how I saw Jason. I never saw him as an undead. I always saw him as a, you know, like a ghost that can have a body.
Yeah, well, I mean,
because they always play with that trope because he would teleport.
Oh, a friend of mine, Chris, who might be watching, dude. He's like really, really into, like, he loves horror as much as I do, but for him, it's all about the 80s slasher movies. Those are his favorites, right? And he likes to think that, like, when you see Michael Myers walking, that when the camera's not on him, he's like, and the camera's back on him, and he's like walking again. And same thing with like Jason Voorhees. So they're bookend, you're just not seeing it.
Yeah, it's like. I always wondered that too, where like, you know, with Jason,
but they're showing it in the movie that he reversed to being a kid. He's a ghost. He's a ghost that can materialize a physical body, so that's why he cannot die. Like you can destroy him, and he'll always come back in a way. Like in one of the latest one, somebody ate his heart. And now he was Jason.
Jason Goes to Hell. The opening for that.
She looks she looks ex-wife pissed in this scene.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah. So like, what is this scene about? Like, we got the creepy hand and all that stuff. So he's hallucinating.
Yeah, okay. The hoodoo priest that he pissed off because he's delving into secrets that, you know, he's not supposed to delve into, is terrorizing him by you know, feeding him hallucinogens.
Mm-hmm.
And hit a little hypnotic suggestion, and everything takes care of itself.
Wow. I recognize the actor.
It's Michael Guff.
Michael Guff, yeah.
You know, who played Alfred in the Tim Burton
not that guy. The guy with the he got attacked.
Bill
The guy.
Bill
Yeah,
Pullman.
yeah.
Bill Pullman from Independence Day, Lone
Like
Lone
Placid.
Star. He was Spaceballs. He was Lone Star.
Yeah,
in
I was gonna say
Spaceballs.
Spaceball Lone Star.
Yeah.
I just watched it.
Oh, it came out the same year too.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Yeah. But yeah, about like, you know, the lore of like killers like Jason, you know, I think the Jason Goes to Hell, like they try to do a new thing. So like the thing is that about that, they want to do something different than the previous movies because they don't want the same teens going out in the woods, having sex, doing drugs, all that stuff. He wanted to do something different. He wanted Jason to take a new form, going after, you know, his loved one, and whoever gets in the way, he kills, that type of thing. And people say it reminds them of The Hidden, which is like very reminiscent because if you watch The Hidden and Jason Goes to Hell, it's the same concept. You know, he'll go into like a body, and he has to switch a body in order to, you know, get you know.
Except
the Jason movies didn't really reach very far. You know what I mean? They didn't really go after the plot so much.
Yeah.
You know, with like 4, you know, not 4, 5. They, you know, the next generation, they were going to have like a different killer. There's no Jason in part 5. I know some people are real staunch defenders of that one. I'm not crazy about it. Then there's 6, and that's the one where he comes back as a zombie.
Hey, Drew.
Yeah.
Monsters in the back.
Where is he? I don't see him.
Oh.
He typed in a message.
Hi, Pepper Potts.
I've been watching. I don't see him though.
Well, you probably just drive by and say hi, W, and left.
Like one of Sim's lizards. What's up? I can't get that out of my head. By the way, Simon. What's up?
Yeah, dude, those lizards are freaking awesome.
Well, he just dropped a private check, right?
Yep.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, there he is. Hi, horrors, he says, but
See, I didn't want to say that word.
yeah,
Yeah,
but I
saw
don't
the
see him.
message.
He just dropped in to cuss us out in the split. Awesome. That was just like a moment ago. So.
Oh. What's up, dude? We know you're out there. My God, man.
Do you guys want to glimpse at what I'm working on?
Absolutely. Always want to glimpse at what you're working on, brother.
As soon as you share my screen.
How did he get the private thing in there? He must have just dropped in when I was looking away for a second.
He has ways.
Yeah, because I was like watching for him, the sneaky bastard.
There you go. Working on Demona for the Ink Slayer.
Oh, hell yeah. Oh, that's going to be so badass. That's going to be badass.
You know,
And
she's tiny, but look at the size of that guy. And she's about to ruin his day. As you can see, she already started.
Oh, nice.
Right.
But that just made him angrier.
Yeah. He's very pissed.
I love like the outrageous proportions. It's fucking awesome. Oh, I can't wait to check that out, man. That's gonna be hot. That's gonna be
2021.
hot like salsa picante flambe.
That's the wrong window. Hold on.
Oh, I seen that video. Freddy versus Jason stars on set.
Ah,
I thought that was pretty funny though. It was
And that's
like,
not Ian Hoder that said that, right? Isn't it?
that's not it either. I wanted this one. Let's see here. I want this one. This one here.
oh yeah.
Die.
Dude, I was watching Rick and Morty. Remember they make a joke about Scary Terry? You can run, but you can hide, bitch. You can run, but you can hide, bitch.
Yeah.
So the other day we started watching the movies. Me and my bro were like, I wonder if he does say bitch that often. And fuck yes, he does.
He does.
You can run,
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
bitch.
Yeah, he always does like a one-liner and bitches at the end. So it's like,
Yeah, the sequels. Yeah, the sequels. Yeah, those got pretty wacky. 3 is really good. You know, 3 is like a proper nightmare on Elm Street sequel.
yeah. What I think it was Robert said is one of his favorites, nightmare films.
Yeah.
Favorite.
Yeah, written by Chuck Russell, who did the Blob remake.
Yeah, I have to admit that movie, Freddy vs. Jason, is like they offered the best Jason and the best Freddy that we've seen in a long time in those goddamn movies. Even though they're crossover, you know, the fight could have been better, but to me,
Yeah.
I
It
think
was
that
alright.
the concept of it was awesome. That you know he was using Jason, and then Jason got too greedy. Fuck you ain't controlling me, bitch.
Mhm.
Yeah. and then of course it's like, okay, who are your sympathies going to be with, right? And it's just like, okay, Freddy Krueger was a pedophile murderer,
Right.
right? Jason was a wounded child, child who'd been left to die, right? So it's just like, okay, so
just to be fair, for watching the movies, it was never said that he was a pedophile, just like to hurt kids. It was in the later one, isn't it?
Implied that he like, you know, that he was like a John Wayne Gacy. You know, like he like,
Yeah.
you know,
He liked to scare them. Yeah.
Yeah, and fuck him and kill him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, because I
never really got that through the movies watching them growing up, but I know that was highly implied in the new one, and that's you're like, what?
It was highly implied in the first one. That's why the parents killed him. You know what I mean? Because he was hurting little children that way, and they couldn't prove it, so they decided to catch him and kill him and burn him, and that's why he wanted his revenge. And that was all shared in the first movie.
Yeah, and was like, I'm gonna get your kids anyway.
Yeah. It's funny because like for Freddy versus Jason, you know, you can tell like Jason has more sympathy than Freddy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're like, well, I really like Freddy, so
he's colorful. He's a character.
Yeah, so he has more personality than Jason, and
he's the guy you love to hate.
Yeah, and but like my friend, he doesn't like masked, you know, non-talking killers because he thinks they don't have any personality. Which I don't know. I tend to disagree and agree, but
Jason has personality. He doesn't have a sense of humor. That's the difference.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, there is such a thing, like the reason why people like Kane Hodder, and I think he's only in, is it from 6 forward or from 7 forward?
7.
Right? Yeah, 7 forward. What they liked about him was this, how he would convey this sense of rage, right? As opposed to like, you know, or like, you know, The Shape, for instance. Dick Warlock was the guy who was always the best at playing Michael Myers. That walk, you know what I mean? He seemed to almost kind of glide. You know, I mean, actors, really good actors, will know how to act with the mask on. You know, it's even there are some actors. Ron Perlman, for instance, my God, I would say like 80% of the movies and TV shows he's been under some kind of mask or makeup.
Yep.
Yeah, because
and he nailed Vincent.
Yeah,
the entire face makeup.
Yep. That
and Hellboy.
Yep. That's a TV series that would be ripe for a modern remake. Oh, got him. Oh, I thought he had him by his junk.
That's a stuntman.
Yeah. And Robert Englund, my God, in his what, late 50s, 60s here?
His 50s.
50s.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take that bump. What's that?
Yeah, no. The thing is,
considering he wears a mask and that mask can be recreated for a stuntman in very, very easy fashion, there's no reason why that he would have to do his own stunts.
Absolutely,
it would be an insurance risk. So.
Oh, of course, yeah. That's why they don't let Jackie Chan do all that crazy shit in his Hollywood movies. That's a great movie.
Well, actually, Jackie Chan does most of his stunts because that's what people expect.
Not anymore.
Isn't it anymore?
Not anymore.
No.
You do it with all the wounds he had. and for to keep going, he had to let go of that. He doesn't do his stunts anymore.
Yeah, he's
Yeah, well,
mostly
he's pretty old now. I mean, the last
Yeah.
movie he was in, he was faking like 10 years off of his age. So
Oh yeah. And he's somebody who now is just concentrating on being like a dramatic actor, and was really great in The Foreigner with Pierce Brosnan. That's on Netflix. I recommend checking that out.
I did see that. That was pretty good.
That was good.
Mm-hmm.
I like how Jason is throwing Freddie around like like he's light, like a light nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like he keeps like every time like Jason hits somebody with a machete or something, like they go flying back into a tree or to a building or something like that.
Yeah.
Like, in this movie, not like
I think that's like, because like they say zombie strength, you know what I mean? It's like human beings, we have our strength, like our physical strength, but we actually are capable of being a lot stronger, but it hurts us.
Right.
So if you're a big guy and you're dead and you have no pain, your ability to throw things would be, probably increased by at least 4. You know what I mean? And that's just like what they call zombie strength, so.
Or hysterical strength, that where you hear these stories about women lifting cars to like get their child when they're like pinned underneath, shit like that.
I had that happen.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm sure they would hurt afterwards. Yeah.
Oh yeah. And they have the torn back muscles and shit like that. It's that they still pretty much fucking bench press a fucking car.
Yeah. I just I like to say that there is a take for Jason Goes to Hell where the director's take on the character was like he drowned as a boy, he actually drowned, and he came back as a boy, but then grew in size 2 weeks later. And then that's when he started doing his killing spree. And then, but by this point, from Jason Goes to Hell, he's saying that he's a Deadite because of the Evil Dead book that's in that film. So, like, Mrs. Voorhees summoned Jason by using the Evil Dead book to turn him in Deadite. And then
Necronomicon,
Necronomicon. And then he says, like, now Jason is a assassin from hell. So he came back to be an assassin and gain his vengeance on whoever killed his mom. But then he started killing people on his territory, which, started to pop off in the later films. But then there is Manhattan one, right? Jason Takes Manhattan, where he goes to Manhattan, but the
shot in Vancouver.
Yeah, shot in Vancouver on a boat, and
I was so pissed.
But I was disappointed, but I had a lot of fun with it, I guess. I mean, that's where he was teleporting, like randomly teleporting, just like Sim says, like he's teleporting.
But that's what I'm saying. It's me. That's the thing that I always saw, like Halloween, right? Michael Myers. Yeah. He's a possessed kid. Like a kid that's possessed by a demon type of thing. That's why he can't die, right?
Yeah.
That's what they let you to believe without explaining it. And the way that I've always seen Jason is technically he's a ghost. He's a ghost with a body. Like if you read ghost folklore, they come in a body and it's rotten, right? It's like a zombie, like an undead, but it's a ghost. Yeah. So that's why you can actually banish and come back in front of you. Like you'll be there and then you turn around and he's there.
Right. It's so like the German legend of the Lebender Leichmen, the walking corpse. Yeah, that does have its roots in folklore, European folklore.
Yeah, Return from Dust. There's an old story that I read that was about that. It was like long time dead bodies. They would have already decayed and gone away. You know what I mean? But they come back from the dead, and then they are able to appear as every stage of decomposition, including prior to the death, so they can appear as themselves before they decomposed.
Yep.
And then themselves, and then they could turn to dust and basically move from spot to spot super fast, as fast as the wind or whatever. Yeah,
that's creepy. Reminds me a little bit of Ghost Story. I don't know if you guys remember that one. It's not a particularly memorable film, but from about 1980, based on. Based on a I forget the guy who wrote it. Now, since we're talking about Wes Craven, we have to, of course, address his most ghoulish and ghastly creation of them all: Music of the Heart.
What?
Music of the Heart with Meryl Streep, Cloris Leachman. You guys have never seen that? Yeah, he made he showed his tender side. He made I haven't seen it, so I actually can't
You haven't seen it, so you can't go off of it.
Yeah, so I can't rank on it or anything. But yes, he did do a non-horror movie towards and Mr. Something's Opus, I think, didn't he do that one too?
I don't think he did that movie. You're talking about the one with Richard Dreyfuss, Mr. Holland's Opus.
For Holland's Opus, or was that because I know also Sean S. Cunningham, I think he did like a horse movie or something like that. You know, we had these horror directors trying to get out of their lane. And
no, that was Stephen Herrick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Mr. Holland's Opus was Stephen Herrick.
Gotcha.
Who's also an amazing director, by the way.
What else did he do?
He'll rip your heart out with his movies.
Oh, he's like a
but not a horror movie like style.
tearjerker kind of a guy.
Yeah. Oh, God, he's an expert at it. Yeah. Like laughter through tears and that kind of stuff. He'll deliver that in a really nice way. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here looking at Wes
Porn.
Craven's IMDb. Before I was trying to
No,
avoid
you're watching porn.
cheating. No, if I was watching porn, I'd let you know. I wouldn't be ashamed of that shit. Oh yeah, Vampire in Brooklyn. I wasn't really crazy about it. I know there's a friend of mine who really likes it. It's like you need to take another look at that. But
It was all right, but it
remake of Blackula.
Yeah, no, Vampire in Brooklyn. I just didn't buy Eddie Murphy as a vampire. Just I don't know if it was the hairdo or what. It was just not right.
Yeah, I mean, it tried to have some straight horror elements, and it just, I don't know. It's a remake of Blackula, but it's Blackula balanced the.
But it was
the
a
reason
comedy.
Blackula worked.
It was a straight comedy. I mean, think of
Straight horror too.
Chris Rock as like a zombified Renfield type. You know what I mean? It was.
Not Chris Rock. It was Kadeem Hardison.
Oh, you're right.
Okay.
Kadeem Hardison. No, you're right. It was. Why do I? Man, I have got to like. I got to find some kind of memory pill. You know what I mean?
You have got the drop seats.
I am having like memory issues. I used to have the sharpest memory of all, and like nowadays it's just crap. I get all kinds of stuff blended and confused. I'm gonna have like Alzheimer's watch. It's gonna be bad.
Oh, dude. But if it runs in my family, I'll probably end up with it. But I'll my mind will be like tapioca pudding, but I'll be like spitting out like horror trivia.
You'll be thinking you're Jason. You'll be walking around the old folks' home with the fucking machete, or at least something in your hand you think is a machete.
I really did not like the slasher films in the 80s when they came out. And I was not a Friday the 13th fan at all. I was
all right, so you'll think you're fucking the Wolfman.
But it's normal that he's not a fan of Friday the 13th that much, dude. He doesn't like the comedy in this thing, and I think that the only thing really selling Friday the 13th was that the kills were always freaking hilarious.
Yeah, well,
it was always a one-up, right? When you think about it.
Well, when you get older, your sense of humor improves.
Yep.
You know, when you're a kid, you take everything so goddamn seriously.
Like I love that freaking sleeping bag kill. I'll never forget that one.
A great one.
It's funny because in the first Friday 13th, in the fourth one, Tom Savini did the special effect.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, like, people say like the first one was really gory and like just like it focused like, no, it's not like Halloween. Like they focus more on the gore and the kills, and it's like, well, it feels a lot like Halloween when it comes to the tension and the suspense. A lot. Yes, there are some kills that are gore, and effects in there, but there's a lot of off-screen kills. Whereas in the final chapter, that's where all Tom Savini's effects really come into play.
And you know what?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say that, because in that film, like I said, Tom Savini's effects come into play because there's a lot of on-screen kills, and just the first kill was just so like tone setting when it comes to that Ted White's Jason. Just him sawing the guy's like neck and then twisting it around like it's nothing.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
that was
yeah.
crazy.
The censorship had gotten a little bit looser, because the sad thing, the real tragedy about a lot of these movies is nowadays they'll shoot all that extra gore and they'll keep it for like the director's cut or as an extra, or it can be edited back into the movie. But all that footage that they cut out of those movies back then, that shit's gone.
Yeah, in part 7, they had a lot of kills that were on screen, and the MPAA like censored the hell of that film, and a lot of the kills that you see were gonna happen, like you did not see, and like there's just a lot of cool kills they mentioned and everything. I was like, oh my god, I wish I can see that in like a cut or something like that.
And now it's nowhere near as gory as what you see on TV.
Yeah, like Walking Dead.
Shit.
Yeah,
that would have gotten X rating from the MPAA if it had been released as a movie back in the day.
Yeah,
I expected so much from this movie because the trailer in the theaters was so goddamn impressive that I expected more from the movie than I got. So I was a little disappointed at Shocker. So,
I was never, because I knew that Wes Craven was very spotty. You know what I mean? He wasn't like a Romero or a Carpenter or somebody like that, where I'm just like, I'm expecting greatness. I knew that
Carpenter's a walking fucking horror boner.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And he's not just horror. I mean, he's just a master.
Yeah. So I mean, it's like some people whiff. Everybody whiffs every now and then, right? And he was unpredictable that way. But when
Lime Dad's got a suggestion for me.
So meth jogs the memory. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Shocker, but I wasn't really expecting much either. It was a video rental for me. Wes Craven wasn't one of those directors where I was like, I need to go see that in the theater. He was always to be like, I'll catch it on video.
Thomas Selena says Mount Rushmore of monster versus movies: King Kong versus Godzilla, Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, Freddy versus Jason, and Alien versus Predator.
I like Alien versus Predator, the first one, but of course, like it's PG-13, so I was like, wait, isn't Alien in the Predator franchise R-rated?
Yeah. No, I liked a lot of it. Like, I liked the setup, I liked the premise. Their delivery wasn't my favorite.
Yeah. I thought it was a really wasted opportunity. What I don't understand is why they haven't done RoboCop versus Terminator, because the comic book, which was written by Frank Miller and illustrated beautifully by Walter Simonson, is a classic.
I want to see RoboCop. I want to see RoboCop as the Terminator. I want to see him get hijacked.
Well, that would be interesting too.
I would like to see RoboCop versus Maniac Cop.
Oh man, I love the Maniac Cop movies too, especially is the shit.
I like to. I just recently watched 2 and 3. 2's my favorite because it's just over the top, action all over. Like it's better. It's more fast paced and more like action than the first one, which keep me off my toes. But I gotta say the writing is very like 80s cheese, just you can tell like it's not that good writing, but it has some good kills and action, especially when he's on fire and he's like fighting all the inmates.
Yeah, it's the best.
That was fun.
It's the best of the series, I think. Last I heard, I think it was Nicholas Winding Refn, of all people, was planning a Maniac Cop remake.
Yeah. So
we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah. I like Robert Zedar as the Maniac Cop. He does it. I mean, it's just like Chucky or Robert Englund.
Right.
But the thing about that is that you can replace him for somebody else. Anybody can play the Maniac Cop because he doesn't talk, and he has personality to him. He's human. Well, not really human. He's dead, but he has human attributes to him.
Right.
So he can talk a little bit. Like sometimes he's like, what was that? His name. He says his name. Cordell.
Yeah.
and he tries to speak but
That's a voice that's like it's from the grave.
yeah, it's crazy. Oh, and I like the team up with him and that psychopathic serial killer dude.
Oh,
I
yeah.
didn't expect that.
Oh my god. That actor, why am I blanking on his name? He steals that movie. He's so fucking good. Leo Rossi.
Yeah. I think is Shocker, is it a slasher film or is it a supernatural
It's more of a supernatural. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Because he becomes sort of like Electro, or like, you know, one of these comic book villains that's like a living electrical current.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I mean,
every time I see this actor here, I can't remember his name right now, but I always think of The Great White Hype. That movie just cracks me up.
He's
is
like,
Samuel Jackson that one?
Yeah,
he's
like
a
director now. He transitioned to directing, and Peter something or another. Yeah, he's like a super happening director. He was supposed to direct Dune at one point.
He always played like the best moron. When he wasn't playing a moron, it wasn't believable.
Well, not the best moron. The best moron was my boy Bill Paxton. The first I wanted.
I like Bill Paxton.
Bill Paxton. I don't know if I mean, the only time I liked Bill Paxton as a moron, right, was actually when he played Chet in Weird Science. Yeah, I liked him as a moron then, but I hated him at the same time. I mean, that was like, you know.
Yeah.
For God's sake, cover yourself.
Yeah, and he was in Terminator
and Aliens
and Predator.
Yeah. He had a death scene in Terminator. Yeah.
He was the most quotable actor of the 80s, hands down. Game over, man.
Yeah, game over. And what was that line in Terminator he says? It was like, oh, he's short a 6-pack or something like that. This guy short a 6-pack. And then he gets knocked out. Somebody said he died. He get killed in that one.
Yeah, he took his. Isn't the outfit he took was the one he was wearing? Which outfit?
Oh no. So in that one,
in the first movie, there were the 3 dudes, and they were standing together, and he wanted one of their outfits, and one of those guys was Bill Paxton.
Yeah, because it was actually the random is one of the other guys. It wasn't Bill Paxton, but this one guy got his heart punched in, or Arnold just punches his fist into his body and
the guy, I keep forgetting his name, but he has the weird facial face and no cheek bones. You guys remember his name?
Buff dude, the real buff
the
dude?
guy from Buffy. Yeah, he was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yeah,
he plays in Cobra.
He was the villain in Cobra. Yeah.
I don't remember that dude's name.
He was the one of the villains in the Alien Nation movie. Yeah. Yep. The Alien Billions. Yeah.
Wait, is he?
I gotta look it
up. Aliens? Or no?
No, he was in Cobra. He was in.
Talking about a different actor, yeah. So.
Oh, okay, gotcha. But I always thought Terminator was like a slasher film. I always thought of that.
Absolutely,
technically it was the first one. It was.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's also elements of Westworld in that, of Yul Brynner, when he's just has a single-minded focus on killing Richard Benjamin, and when Richard Benjamin throws the acid in his face and all his skin's burned off, and you see the robot underneath. Mm-hmm. There's oh man, but the Terminator absolutely is a horror movie.
Yeah, I always thought they could have fixed the series. I think Dark Fate. I like Dark Fate, but I really think they should have gone back to the roots of the first one to make that a actual slasher, horror film as the first one was. Because a lot of people didn't realize that. People say oh, Terminator, action film. Yeah, because T2 and all the rest of them. Actually, someone said T2 was a monster film because of the T-1000.
Oh, it's a action spectacle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's all about excess. It's all about, because I've always felt that movies like the first one is so tight, and then Terminator 2 is completely blown out of proportion. It's too fucking big, but that's sort of the point.
Yeah.
And the third one was a little bit more contracted, which I liked. I know most people didn't. That's when they should have fucking stopped, though. I mean, it pisses me off. It's like, what, we've got 6 Terminator movies and only 2 Conan? Fuck that. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, because like, I always said the same thing. Like, it should have ended with T2, especially the way it ended. The way it ended. It's like, oh, future saved. Thank you, Sarah Connor. And then the rest of the films came out, and I'm like, come on, guys, you guys can't do it. Don't do it.
Well,
yeah. And then, but in T6, they decided to decided to make a sequel directly to T2. And I say it's okay, but I mean, if you don't like
it's too much CGI for me personally.
Yeah.
If you dug it, that's cool, but there's a certain point. It's just like, man, we're just throwing shit at the screen.
Yeah.
It's like, why does every movie have to be 2.5 hours long now?
Yeah.
It's like,
because of the price. Because it costs so much to go to the fucking movies, people want their fucking bang for their buck.
Dread was 90 minutes, and I felt I got more than my bang for my, like a total bang for my buck.
When was that though?
5 years ago.
Was that recent?
Yeah, relatively, absolutely. Swamp Thing. I mean that suit that Dick Durek is in. I mean, it's total man in rubber suit makeup, but it still works. That's just a fun movie.
Yeah, the Swamp Thing. I saw the second one, but unfortunately, I haven't seen the
they did have a sequel to this, and it sucked. The sequel, was terrible.
The makeup is much better. The costume is much better.
The costume was way better. The costume was way better. I mean, the costume like had bloom, flowers, and shit on it. Sometimes it's really
it was the Alan Moore Swamp Thing, at least in appearance.
So, is it the effects is just on Swamp Thing, or is there other effects in the film that they use?
There are other people that turn into monsters, and there's a little bit of violence, but I wouldn't say gore. It had a PG rating when it came out.
The transformation was pretty gory.
Well, it was. It was. Well, I wouldn't say it was gory personally, but I know. I think I have the scene queued, so we'll discuss it when it comes up. All I know is that Adrian Barbeau's T-shirt is wet. Yeah, boy.
That was the whole excuse for this scene right here.
Yeah,
that's kind of brutal. Like he's trying to drown her.
Krug.
That's a brutal way to go.
That's Krug, dude. He was a fiend. By the way, David Hess met him at a convention. Super nice guy. One of those guys that was like played so many fiends in movies. He would go out of his way to convince people, like, I'm not a maniac. Just on screen.
Dang, that's brutal though, to be honest. Like drowning.
Of course. But
that's terrible.
Okay, got her. David Hess is great in that.
See, the thing is, that's one of the things I loved about like movies from the 80s is they still like were at the peak of practical effects. You know what I mean? And they would do things like that. And then the camera work on. I'm just gonna go and watch that scene over again so I can talk about this. So, like, if you really look at the camera work on this, it's really basic. I mean, it's really basic. But they did the tight shots and they did the timing on it to really sell what was happening here. You know? I mean, it's like how short was that? You didn't even see the costume hardly in the water at all. You know what I mean? But it really sold it. And these guys are like, what the fuck?
And Metal Movies and Brewskis, don't apologize for liking Swamp Thing too, which is by the way called Return of Swamp Thing. It's okay, we forgive you. Hey man, I like some straight up trash, so it's all good,
Yeah,
son.
some of the
Whoa.
stuff you
Yeah, I think that's like a air cannon or something that they use, and something boat flying in the air. Oh, and the new Swamp Thing series, I loved it. I thought it was terrific, but it got canceled. So
Yeah, I saw the clips. I saw this one clip where I think the guy, he was hallucinating and he was cutting off his hand or something like that. I don't know what it was. Oh yeah, because he put his hand in the I'm blanking out. The washing machine, or not washing machine, the sink. You know how they
oh, the not the trash compactor, the
garbage disposal.
garbage disposal. Oh my god. Yeah, the garbage disposal. Like he put his hand in there because there's something on his hand that was freaking him out and he couldn't get it off, but really he was hallucinating. So he put his hand in the garbage disposal or dispenser, and then like it tore off his hand, and he's like, ugh.
Yeah, it was good. What was great about it was a horror series.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, it didn't get renewed. I guess people didn't see it. I think it was just available on like the DC streaming service or something like that. They really they screwed the pooch. They made it so that nobody
find
could
right
see it.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like how they turn characters that are like horror-like, and then they turn them into like a horror film or a horror series. Like what other character is a horror-like character, or like Constantine, like
Blade.
Blade. Like they're like horror characters, and
Yeah.
their films are very horror-like. Yeah.
Yeah, I've noticed as time has gone by, I mean, like from like the 70s to the 90s and now in the 2000s, genres are crossing over a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they are.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I see like a lot of if you, of course, you guys know Blumhouse. They release a lot of horror films, originals, and then they start to right now they're making sequels to like Halloween. They did the Halloween movie, and they're trying to get the rights to Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street, so they can like do their own take on it and see what happens then.
And those dudes are real fans.
Here's your Swamp Thing gore.
Oh, okay.
Louis Jourdan. He's taken a formula which he believes will turn him into a Adonis, and because the formula just makes you more of what you already are. So of course it turns him into a hideous monster. Reach for the light. Yeah, that's a beautiful scene. I love that.
Yeah.
It's a great hero moment. It's interesting how many of these heroes, Swamp Thing, RoboCop, The Crow, all these characters that are sort of reborn by death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like the origin of RoboCop. The way he goes out is very brutal, and when he comes back together and finds out who did it to him, you're like, yeah, go get him, RoboCop. Go get him.
Yeah, there's some creative revenges in that movie, but it's that movie is very 80s. The way that wraps up at the end, and he's over at the corporation office, and he's upstairs, and there's like, dude, you're fired, and he's all, thank you, he starts shooting him.
Oh yeah, and he falls out. It's like a claymation.
Yeah.
They couldn't get a stuntman or anything, but oh my god.
Well, I mean, it was clearly a. That's Verhoeven for you. He liked blowing things out of proportion. He embraced, the whole comic book aspect of that movie.
Yeah.
See, now I like this transformation. I would like to see a werewolf transformation that kind of goes along this style here, where it's kind of like it scabs up on you. You know what I mean? And then kind of like, yeah. I think that would be, and then a little bit of like acidic blood kind of approach where we're just kind of heat, and I would do it faster. I think I went werewolf transformation movies like the my one complaint about the transformation in American Werewolf in London is I think they did it too long. I think that if they did the transformation faster, it would have been creepier and even more memorable. I mean, I think they dragged it out not so much that you could tell the effects. You could see the bladders move. You mean if they just suggested it instead of just like, here, watch our effects. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why I prefer. I personally prefer Rob Bottin's transformation in The Howling. I think it's creepier.
Yeah, that one seems more like not only creepier but more like evil.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas American Werewolf in London was more like it was more painful and more like, no, I don't want this to happen, and you feel bad for not only the guy but also the werewolf because you feel bad for because it's him. He's the werewolf and he's eating people, he's killing people, but really he doesn't want to. But by the genes and the ability of a werewolf, he has to. It's just nature.
Yeah, you really do feel sorry for the werewolf by the end of the movie, and it's weird because it's like a fucking brutal killing machine that's killing innocent people. Yeah.
Oh, lovely dress. Thank you, Wes, for putting Adrian Barbeau in that dress. And yeah, it is worth mentioning. This was an incredibly low budget movie. They had no money for this. This is like a maybe $2 million production. Like a TV budget, really. And boy, he really knew how to stretch a dollar.
See, like obviously this is a little cheesy, but I mean this kind of concept where like this, you get scabbed up and then underneath you're a werewolf. You know what I mean? Like you like cocoon up and then you come out. I would love to see that happen because that seems like that would be a little bit more like actual factual physical. You know what I mean? If you were like because that like the transformations that we see in those movies, you know what I mean? Like
that's why I did the one where he rips his skin off, like it comes from inside.
Like Company of Wolves, you see that too, where the people ripping their skin off, or just like there's a great moment where this fellow opens his mouth and then the snout of the werewolf comes out.
Yeah.
The werewolf transformations in that by Christopher something or another. Oh man, fucking fantastic! His little green hand, little itty bitty hand.
The thing about werewolf transformations that I've always wondered, and this is just speculation, but it's like the human body can only handle so much stress. You know what I mean? And it's like it just seems like something like that would actually kill somebody. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's
that's the point, yeah. And I've got a werewolf comic that I've got in the works, but that's on the back burner because there's like a billion werewolf comics out right now.
Yeah, everybody's doing werewolves these days.
Yeah, so mine can wait.
But that now it gets dumb. He's got that hedgehog face.
Well, yeah, it's once again that like crappy like man in rubber suit.
He's a hedgehog.
More like a boar.
Yeah, boar. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah,
boar. He's a boar.
But I love the fact that he goes right for the sword. That made me really happy.
Yeah, but the eyes in this are like those are like fucking like
button eyes.
Yeah, like totally button eyes. I mean, it's like no blinking. Almost like okay, this is a stuffed animal.
Right, but of course, Swampy looks, a little, very rubber suity. But then, of course, the makeup, allows the actor Dick Durek to use his face a little. But once again, this is a movie that embraces its comic book roots. It's not intended to be taken too seriously, and yet it takes itself just seriously enough.
And the thing is like, okay, sure, there's a lot of stuff about it that's hokey, but you got to like admit what the era and the limitations, the practical effects at that time, but if
you
really
can't suspend your disbelief, you shouldn't be watching horror movies anyway.
And it really sells the story. It really does. the little troll dude.
Yeah. That actor, yeah, then he takes the formula and makes him more of what he is, which just turns him into this little kind of a little rat man.
Right. Yeah, that was he had a little redeeming moment towards the end. That was
Yeah, he
always,
did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wes Craven does lots of really cool stuff. It you know what I mean? It's I hate to see that he gets a bad rap because he's done so much cheesy shit too. I mean, it's like
Oh,
he didn't write everything he directed, so it's not
yeah,
like he can be
but
blamed
also,
for it.
before he died, he was the official master of horror. Okay, so he like got the proper respect before
Yeah.
he went. George Romero, hell no. Toby Hooper, hell no. Most of David Cronenberg, he's a respectable director now. But there's so many of our great national treasures that don't get the respect and admiration that they deserve.
Yeah, I like to mention I completely, I don't know why I thought he made it, but I thought he made My Bloody Valentine, the original.
No,
For some reason, I don't know why, but like I
love
looked it up,
that movie.
I made sure. But that was a fun slasher film, Canadian slasher.
Yep. Yeah, it's Connexploitation.
Yeah, and I thought like that could have been a horror icon. Or like it looked iconic, to be honest with you.
I thought the slasher movies, the ones that I liked, was that one, Prom Night, and Terror Train, and then of course there were like a billion absolute shite ones.
Yeah. Oh, what about
Prowler?
The Prowler. Yeah.
Maniac. Oh man. Urgh. Yeah. Oh god. That's a really grimy one. That's a favorite. That's a favorite too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I gotta see if I can get my friend Michael Gallagher to come on here. We could talk about his character Smiley. Every Halloween, I get so excited when I see people like wear his horror costume. You know what I mean? And every year it's more and more people. It's like I feel like that movie is just like going to be a cult classic in 10 years. You know?
It's spreading.
Wait, Smiley,
yeah.
Oh.
Sweet mullet, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you, gentlemen, but we got to look at that mullet. That is a sweet fucking mullet right there on the left. I miss mullets, man. I miss them so much.
Totally 80s. It's like a MacGyver mullet right there.
Louis
have you seen Kane Hodder's mullet?
No.
In Jason Goes to Hell, he's in the security guard. He has a mullet.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, he's rocking an ape drape.
Yeah.
Yeah, hockey player haircut.
Ape drape.
Hockey player haircut. Party in the front. I mean, party in the back. All business in the front. It's lots of different names for mullets.
Oh, can I just mention? Actually, interesting. I know it's a little off topic, but it's still in the realm of horror. So I mentioned to Drew, I'm doing a horror anthology feature film. That is reminiscent to Creepshow and Tales from the Crypt and Tales from the Dark Side. So a mix from all the three films and series that have been made, but we desire to put our own spin on it. So it's about this festival that has burned down.
Funny.
And yeah.
It would have been impossible if we could have had Wes Craven on this panel. Just saying.
Yeah, sorry about that, guys, by the way, but we're not necromancers here.
Yeah, he canceled at the last minute.
Rest in peace, Wes. We're just busting your balls.
Is that Roger Moore?
Well, because I think he saw Louis Jourdan, who was in Octopussy, but he also was very good in the BBC's version of Dracula.
Yeah. Then that mullet really got to him. He didn't really like that mullet, so he's trying to.
This right here is another great example of using practical effects in a very simple way to make something seem really, really creepy.
And the actor really sells it here.
Yeah.
Is that that was He's like, oh no.
They're just like putting warts on him first, you know what I mean? Just little stages.
And then he falls under the table where the real transformation occurs.
Right. No one looks under the table. They just keep...
Oh, it's him. Okay. I was like, wait.
Louis like, all right, everybody just chill the fuck out.
Hey, look at me. I'm on top of the table.
I'm a piglet.
It's like, what'd you do to me, you dick?
Real a-hole. Yeah. Well, I mean, he's excellent as Arcane in this. Arcane, of course, is the great villain of the first run.
Louis Jourdan is probably like an epic villain player. I mean, like I'm trying to think of like a movie that he did where he wasn't a villain and it was good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But especially also in the beginning of this, where he kills, where he murders Holland's sister,
right?
Is very he's just really sadistic and very entitled. You know what I mean? He has that aristocratic air of superiority. It's like a James Bond villain, really, but like nastier.
Yeah, there's like some iconic villains, underrated though, that I really like. There's just like some like that I really think should get like a spotlight. You know, just like it's just so good. It's like a hidden gem. You know, just
villains make movies epic. What Superman would not be Superman without Lex Luthor.
Yeah, or like Joker without, you know.
Joker. I mean, Batman could have had other villains, but none of them were as epic as Joker.
Yeah, but Batman also has, I think it's safe to say, the best rogues gallery ever. You know, I mean, there are other characters that have great rogues galleries, but you know, his is easily, I think, the best.
Just for you, Brian.
I can just look at that all day. Thank you, God. I'm a booty man. That doesn't mean I don't appreciate the breastises.
I'm a booty man. That's what I am.
I'm Carpenter. Oh man, you got to play with those. Oh man, if their kids were watching this right now, they'd be pissed off. But yeah, folks, do try to get the unrated version of this. Mm-hmm. I recommend it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that about covers it.
Yeah, I think so. We've definitely covered just about everything Wes Craven worth covering, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so too. You know, he's not somebody that I would put on the same level as a Romero or a Mario Bava or something like that.
Just so everybody knows where this came from, you and I were having discussions on what to watch, what to talk about, and I was in the mood for 80s horror. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I just apologize now. It's my fault. 80s horror, my fault.
We didn't love 80s horror. What are you talking about, fool?
I'm just saying that was my choice, and you threw some names at me, and I'm like, Wes Craven. That's a lot of 80s horror right there. I'm like,
yeah, body of work, and also, man, you know, if you've got 2 or 3 classics under your belt, you're untouchable. And he had at least 2.
Yeah.
Right.
Anytime you can have a series under your belt that you're responsible for creating tropes, which he's created more than one trope. Yeah. Yeah. 2
successful franchises.
Right. So
yeah.
You can't shake a stick at that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Rest in peace, Wes Craven. Thank you. Thanks for the scares. Thanks for the kick-ass horror movies.
Yes. And the gross outs, the occasional gross outs. That was those are the best parts right there from Wes Craven, because you don't get a lot of blood and guts from Wes Craven. You get a lot of gross out stuff in other ways. Yeah.
I think a lot of I think you get that a lot from was either Rob Zombie or well, of course Tom Savini. You know, he has he directed Night of the Living Dead, so he definitely put a lot of his work on that and the gore.
Yeah. Although they cut all the gore out of that, so it would get an R rating. Like, there were exploding heads and shit like that. They cut all of that out, and like I said, that footage is lost. You know, can't record that shit.
I wish I could make a horror movie with a budget to pull off some gore. You know what I mean? Other than just like the cheap, low budget crap. I mean, because man, there's so much stuff that I would do if the budget was there. I'll just tell you.
Have you seen Turbo Kid? Mm-hmm. That's by Simon's fellow Quebecois RKS.
We watched all those we watched those scenes on our gore night. Remember?
That's right. Yeah. They got amazing
with Michael Ironside.
Yeah. I don't know how they pulled that off. Well, the thing is like that movie's clearly very low budget. I think all the money went to the fucking gore effects.
Stop biting.
Wasn't it crowdfunding too?
What was that?
Wasn't it a crowdfunded movie too?
I don't think there was crowdfunding back then. No.
Well, Turbo Kid's relatively recent.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like 5 or 6 years, I think. Love that movie.
Because I used to meet them at the cons here when they were trying to get prepared for it, and they did a crowdfund for a comic. There you go, Turbo Kid, for the movie.
Super nice people.
They made $53,000 to make the movie.
That's amazing. Amazing.
In 2015 on Indiegogo.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. 53,000.
It's one of our boys. Yeah.
How did he make a whole movie on 53K? Like that movie on 53K?
Because that's technically 60-something K Canadian. And when you're in Montreal, dude, Quebec, the Center of Special Effects for Movies International, you can get it done.
There you go. I met them at the Yonkers Alamo. They were premiering Summer of '84, which was their new horror movie at that time, which was very good, very good. Boy, nice people.
They're friends with a lot of people that also they had support from Ubisoft at the end.
Oh, really? No shit.
Yeah.
That's kick ass.
Yeah, I've been trying to I figure out that crowdfunding, you have to have a following and audience in order to do that, but I also look to see if we can get investors or sponsors for films like that. But for the gore and everything for my next one, I'm trying to figure out how to get that because there's gonna be some gory stuff in that film.
Void was, which is like a Lovecraftian horror movie that had great practical effects, and that was crowdfunded. There's a bunch, and also Mandy, I believe, was crowdfunded, and the color art of Space, the new Richard Stanley one. I think that was produced by that crowdfunding studio.
Do you remember what's the name again? Kung Fury.
Oh yeah,
dude, it's a 30-minute thing. It's total retro geek out fan service, kitsch as hell.
Yeah, right?
But it's fucking amazing. For what they did, for the money that they had, you have to give it to them.
Well, you see, that's why I really loved Turbo Kid, was because it had the same 80s nostalgia, but it also had a heart. Do you know what I'm saying?
Turbo Kid was a fun movie. I mean, it was a really just all around fun movie.
Yeah, really loved it. Yeah. Very great shit. Hope those kids get to do more stuff, because I know that Summer of '84 didn't get the attention. It didn't do for them what it should have done for them.
Yeah,
and they loved Six Gun Girl.
So before I leave, let me show you a little something, because we're at 10 o'clock and I have to leave for the hard line.
Yeah.
Ooh. Oh, that is very Japanese. Ready to throw down, demon fight.
Yep. So Demona getting ready for the fight.
Badass. Oh hell yeah, Simon.
All right.
It's gonna be colored by ink spot. But me right now, I'm just doing the color. The
flats.
Sample. Yeah,
dude.
The sample, so he knows what's her color.
Dude, what that piece, that inky.
Dude, so far the first piece you've seen is him paint over my pencils, right? Then after that you saw the Metal Mayhem Rock Boy. That was just me doing a quick sketch, and he inked it and he colored it. and now the last one you saw him color my shit.
Beautiful synergy there,
I'm like,
man.
dude, there's something.
There is. Yeah, it's like, I mean, you would see that, like John Byrne stuff. It never looked as good as when Terry Austin was inking it.
Mhm.
Klaus Janson and Frank Miller, and now it's you and Inky.
Yeah. It's like, dude, sorry, but Inkslayer is born, and it's gonna be big.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. Can't wait. Can't wait. Can't fucking wait.
So
Yeah,
okay,
well,
so
there's a-
based on what's that? Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just gonna mention what I've been doing recently. So
Please.
there's these. So I got 2 feature films on deck. The first one I just mentioned is a horror anthology called The Festival, and it's about this independent film festival that burned down, and there's ghosts. There's a ghost. It's like the host of the film. So like the crypt keeper.
Right.
Like, he's a crypt keeper, and he introduces these 4 young college students that go out to investigate this film festival that burned down, and he introduces himself, and he has a collection of films that have been shown, but there's 4 that haven't been shown. So he shows them all the 4 films, and then you have the wraparound, and they all tie together, but I can't really say about that.
That's
But
cool.
the other film is a slasher film, and it's called Office Hours, and it's a slasher film in a office where a group of office workers are celebrating the last day of their job because the place is going to shut down and they're going to move on to other jobs. But fortunately, there's a killer that comes in and ruins everything, and there's a twist. But you got to see the movie before I tell you it. So
Well, hopefully.
yeah. But right now we have investors for the feature film for the festival, but for the second one, the one I'm doing, we're gonna use our own funds and everything. And Drew, Marcus D. Spencer, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get him to produce and act in the film. So he's gonna come in because he works with a lot of distributors, and I'm trying to find distribution for the film, and he knows a lot of this stuff. So
yeah,
just a lot of
Marcus does a lot of his movies are on Amazon Prime. So
yeah.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And by the way, the kills are not only creative but gory. You're gonna get some gory kills. The first one is gonna set the tone, just like a Friday 13 final chapter, where the guy saws his head and then twists it. Well, this is the exact same thing. Not like exactly like what Jason did, but it's a tone setter for the film on how the killer is going to be portrayed and how aggressively violent he is in the film. So it's going to be great. So I'll see if I can send you guys like trailers or clips and stuff.
Oh hell yeah, man!
Oh yeah, definitely. When you have a trailer and stuff, come back on and we'll fucking feature it, of course, man.
Yeah. And it's if you're a fan of slashers and horror, you're gonna love it. So yeah,
hell yeah.
So let's wrap up the night with a replay of how we started the night. This nice heavy metal music video that I shot, featured, and filmed and directed. And where are you going, Brian?
I don't know. There's something going on over here.
Band's name is Betrayal. Hey, buddy.
Let the darkness penetrate your idolizing Say goodbye. Feel your body rise. 12 midnight, praying for the say goodbye. Feel your body rise. 12 midnight, praying for the
And that's all.
It's a mystery.
All right, I got a boogie. Peace, love, and
Yeah.
soul, everybody.
Everybody have a great night. Thank you for coming to Horror Talk. And we'll see you next week.